Welcome back to this Delt Day of Giving 2023. I'm so excited to report that we have now surpassed $34,000 and 73 donors. And next, so excited to also introduce our guest of the hour, our coordinator of member education experience, Connor Richberg, who's here to just have a quick chat on all things wellness and DEI.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. So to get us started, can you just tell us a little bit more about you and your role and anything else that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. So like you said, my name is Connor Richberg. I'm the coordinator for member education and experience. Within the Life of Excellence framework, I focus on wellness and well-being and strengthening community. The other two prongs of that framework are professional development and personal leadership. My education, I received my undergraduate degree from Marshall University. So if you've ever seen We Are Marshall with Matthew McConaughey, that's where I went to school. Very proud of it. Kind of like a full circle moment for me with Delt. I am a member of Sigma 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 Psi chapter. I am also a proud Indigenous woman from the Tyonega Mohawk territory in Canada. So that is a little bit about me. And then personally, and then within Delt, I've been here since October, which seems like a short amount of time, but it does seem like it's been a long amount of time at this at the same moment. I've experienced a lot of great events such as Prezex and Compass and the final division conferences. I've gotten to meet a lot of alumni and volunteers that are just absolutely wonderful. I have been able to meet with undergraduates and that's been great. And obviously the Arch chapter, the board, and the central office staff has been wonderful too.
Amazing. So in relation to wellness and well-being, how do you define wellness and well-being?
That's a hefty question, isn't it? Right. So whenever somebody talks about their wellness and well-being, you are like, well, am I talking about, am I going to the gym? Am I going to therapy? It's such a large scope, right? So within the Life of Excellence, we tried to break it down a little bit more into the 5 dimensions of wellness and well-being, and that's social, intellectual, financial, emotional. Oh my goodness, my brain. It's one of those things you just like, you start talking and you're like, what's happening? Social and emotional, intellectual, financial, and I am so sorry. My brain is just not there right now.
You're fine.
But it'll come to me. It always happens to me, right? But so we broke it down into the 5 dimensions, and we try to focus on the different dimensions to help our undergraduates and beyond understand those points of their wellness and well-being. It's a great thing that we did to try to help them understand was during Compass this year, we had boards out and we asked them to identify the different ways that they were practicing those dimensions of wellness and well-being. And we found that people are really great about their physical wellness. They love going to the gym, right? But we found that financial wellness is something that we maybe need to give them some more educational and experiential opportunities with, that it's more than just saving money, right? Like, have you looked at how to balance a checkbook? Have you looked at what a 401k is going to look like for you? Do you know how to file your taxes? Things like that. So that was a really interesting moment for us to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are all such important holistic aspects of just wellness overall. And you mentioned you've been on staff for such a short period of time. Yes. So can you tell us a little bit more about historically what we've done well as a fraternity up to this point and where there's maybe still areas of opportunity to improve?
I think a great point to make is that Delt is currently more diverse than it's ever been, which is really exciting. In today's world, it's great that Delt is welcoming to all and everybody's identities, and no one feels that they have to sacrifice a portion of themselves to belong. So that is something that Delt has done tremendously well, and I applaud. And then going forward, I think it's just building off of that, right? It's not necessarily that something that hasn't been done. It's taking where we are and moving on. Anybody that's ever worked with me can tell you that I don't believe in data for data's sake. I don't believe that your data is ever your end point. It's your launching point. So when I hear those statistics, it's, okay, what's going on and how do we move forward? So we see that men crave belonging and identity, right? And they are looking at, how do I focus on my mental health? How am I building these relationships? And it's so many different things. So we're trying to build smaller portions off of it. So next or this month, April, is Physical Wellness Month, which is really exciting. So we are going to have a lot of different challenges for everybody to partake in. One is the Step Up Challenge. It's that count your steps for the day and don't take an elevator, take the steps instead. It will be a challenge for me. I love a good elevator. So that's a challenge that we have. And then May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And here at Delt, we're going to focus on the men in mental health and making sure that we're giving those opportunities for our undergraduates and beyond, focusing on their mental health and how they can help them. So that'll be really excited, and everyone should stay tuned for that.
Amazing. We look forward to it. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with us on this Delt Day of Giving 2023?
I just would like to say that I am so excited for everything that Delt has upcoming. I had alluded to it before that undergraduates and men in general we find that they crave belonging and they crave those interconnections with each other, but they struggle how to make them happen. So that's something that's really exciting that the education and experience team is working towards, is giving them those educational moments and experiential moments to help them create that sense of belonging, that Delt is where they are meant to be and where they will always find a home. So that is really exciting, and I can't wait. And Alex Kennedy and I are going to start making trips and doing those programs with the undergraduates, and I'm very excited for that. So it'll be a good time.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We so appreciate your time, talent, and just for participating.
Thank you.
Next, we are excited to feature Ross Terrio and Brian Adams in regards to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Fund, where I had the opportunity to sit down with them last week to get a little bit more into ways to get involved with the fund, to contribute, and to support here on this Delt Day of Giving 2023. Stay tuned.